I've also got the opportunity to dive off now down the south of France because I've had a really hot tip about a barnload of French resistance stuff that's now become available. Where's Freddie, by the way?
He's next door.
Right, because he's coming with me to France.
Oh.
I'm heading to Toulouse, where in August 1944, the resistance actually succeeded in kicking the Nazis out. Resistance cells often operated from farms, and it's to one of these I'm heading now. This is a place I've always wanted to come because this was a big area for the resistance, disabling railways, blowing up factories, all that sort of stuff.
Their main source of resupply was by the RAF.
There were airdrops all over this area, and there are rich pickings down here. In 1940, the French army was considered the strongest in the world, so the speed of the Nazi victory was a terrible shock. The French World War I general, Marshal Pétain, said there was little choice but to accept defeat. In the town of Vichy, central France, he formed a government which collaborated with the Germans. Soon, resistance grew towards both the Nazis and the French Vichy collaborators.
The guy we're going to see today, you reckon he's got some nice bits?
His grandfather was in the resistance down in Toulouse, and he's been handed down all kinds of stuff. Now, this is what we want. We're on time, but Kevin's late, so a pre-pick preview is always useful. Here, look, drop container. That's the sort of stuff we want.
So this is what the resistance would have got all their bits and
the
pieces?
British dropped like thousands of those, full of ammunition, weapons, all kinds of stuff down there. That's in good nick and all. Listen, we better give him a shout. What's his name? Kevin.
There you go, yeah.
Bonjour, le Kevin. Kevin. Bonjour. Avez-vous? Yeah, look, this has got to be him. Is it?
I don't know, what's he driving?
Oh, yeah, this is him, yeah. Bonjour, Kevin. Kevin, this is Freddie, sorry.
Hello,
I'm
nice to meet you.
Freddie. Very nice.
I have some beer for you.
Beer?
Yeah.
Oh,
Is it
never
beer
turned a
o'clock
beer down.
already? French beer?
French, yes, of course.
Oh, lovely. Nice and cold.
He can't
Cheers,
have
Frank.
one, he's driving. One of the joys of picking in rural France is the hospitality. Chin chin.
Do you enjoy it?
Very nice. God, that's lovely stuff, that. I see the drop container.
Yeah. Have you seen it?
Well, Freddie went in, I told him not to.
Yeah.
You know, we saw it.
Okay.
And it's very interesting.
I collect war items because my grandfather was a resistance.
Resistance, yeah.
And he died when I was 15 years old.
Right.
I have some picture of
Oh,
him.
yeah, let's have a look at him.
Yeah. He's here.
right.
He engaged the resistance in 1943.
When the Nazis took over, they stripped French industry of resources and forced factories to supply the German army. Then they introduced food rationing, causing serious malnutrition. But all this just made the resistance stronger, and by the war's end, over 500,000 ordinary folk had taken up arms against the Nazis.
I have a clandestine radio,
Right,
handmade. It's a receptor
right,
using during the war
right,
by resistance to listen the BBC.
right. Can I have a look? Yeah?
Yeah, of course.
You imagine what's been heard through them headphones.
This is London calling.
Every evening, a BBC announcer would say, "And now for some personal messages," followed by all kinds of weird phrases, like, "Romeo is kissing Juliet." These were coded messages to the resistance, but some were pure gibberish, designed to put the Germans off the scent.
Before D-Day, they were actually playing Beethoven's Fifth, because the first four notes is Morse code for V, and the V was for victory. So you had da 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 da. The night before D-Day, Allied High Command gave the BBC 200 messages to broadcast. Within just 24 hours, the resistance had carried out 1,000 acts of sabotage, crippling German communications and supply lines.
What's the price for this?
100 euros.
50 euros. 50 euros.
Okay.
Yeah, 50 euros? Yeah. Well done, thank you very much. That's V for victory for me. Yeah, look. Resistance badges, yeah?
Yeah.
These are original?
Yes. Original.
Nice. Very, very, very nice. FFI, yeah?
Yeah.
Fantastic. CFP.
CFP, corps franc pommiers.
This is exactly what I've come here to find. Resistance wasn't organised, at least not to begin with, but this had its advantages. When the Nazis captured and tortured resistance fighters, they only had limited knowledge of resistance activities. Later in the war, the resistance coordinated under the name of the French Forces of the Interior, or FFI, whose symbol would soon strike fear into collaborators and Nazis. And this obviously is an armband made up?
Made for the FFE of Toulouse.
Of Toulouse?
Yes.
Before I get too excited, is this for sale?
Not all.
Some?
Some, yes.
OK, fine. These armbands were worn by actual resistance fighters. Exactly what I'm after. Well, the Toulouse one, very interested in.
Okay.
One of the CFP, possible?
Yes.
And maybe that one as well. So, what would be your best price for these?
It's 100 for each.
100 euros each?
Yes.
I'm very happy with that. Each of these armbands has a fascinating historical story to tell. Each is also a physical link to the brave souls who wore them. Yeah, look at that. It's a helmet, look.
Unbelievable.
Hang on, what is this?
It's a Citroën d'Or.
From this area, yeah?
Yeah.
Across the Lorraine?
Yeah.
As they started to fight against the Germans were retreating, and when they were in open conflict with them, they would paint this on the side to denote not to be shot by their own people. When looking for a symbol around which the resistance could rally, a naval commander of the Free French Forces suggested the Cross of Lorraine, emblem of French heroine Joan of Arc. Would this be for sale?
No, I don't want to sell it.
Come on, what would be the price? I'll give you 500 euros.
No.
500.
800.
No, that's too much. I'll give you 650. 650, come on, that's a really good price. 650, and it will go a pride of place back in the UK.
Okay.
650.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yes.
650. Lovely. Thank you. Yeah. This is a moving reminder that in 1944 it was a resistance-led uprising that forced the Nazis out of Toulouse. Been a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Cheers, Kevin.
Perfect.
Cheers. He's driving next time, so
Yeah,
I'll have a beer.
He wants a drink, see? I can't take him anywhere. See you later. Ta-ra, mate. If you were caught wearing one of these by the resistance, you was for it. I've always wanted to do a full mag with one of these. That's awesome. The arduous task of scouring southern France for rare relics of the resistance has fallen to Freddie and self. French farmer Kevin has given me the address of one of his grandfather's comrades. His name is Henry.
Are you sure Henry lives round here?
Well, unless he's incognito and gone into hiding again, I don't know. Listen, just pull up here. It must have been terrifying. So many men and women that joined the resistance were caught, tortured and murdered by the Gestapo. In fact, the most active resistance members had an average life expectancy of just 7 months. Brave doesn't even cover it.
Some of these neighbours might know he was in the resistance, or might not know he was in the resistance. And that would have been the same during war as well.
The Vichy government found they couldn't rely on support of the ordinary French police and the gendarmes. So they set up a pro-Nazi militia called the Milice, and they hunted the resistance without mercy. Thankfully, Henry survived, but unfortunately doesn't speak English, so I've recruited the services of a young neighbour. Bruce Crompton. Hello, sir. Pleased to meet you. So, could I ask him when he first joined the resistance, in which year?
J'y suis rentré au début 43, 1943. J'avais 17 ans.
He joined in 1943 and he was 17 years old.
Okay.
On a fait du sabotage dans les usines, on faisait du sabotage surtout.
They pretty much do all sabotage.
General Eisenhower said the blowing up of railway lines, signal boxes, factories and fuel dumps by the resistance was the equivalent of having 15 Allied troop divisions in France prior to D-Day.
At first, they were using a bomb from the quarry. They were
Quarry,
using
explosive.
bombs from
Yeah, yes, the
quarry.
quarries, yes.
But after that, they received plastic explosive from the UK.
Right. Free French leader Charles de Gaulle was slow to realise the importance of the resistance. After all, resistance fighters were just ordinary people, shopkeepers, farmers, teachers. But when the penny finally dropped, the RAF 138 Special Duty Squadron was formed to drop supplies. And demand soared when the Vichy government ordered all French men in their early 20s to go and work in German weapons factories. Bad idea. Tens of thousands ran away to join the Marquis. Bands of resistance fighters hiding in the mountains. Henry was one of them.
They built shelters
Yes.
with branches and,
Yes.
and wood.
Et comme oreiller, j'avais une musette de grenade, moi.
And he uses a grenade bag
Yeah?
as
His pillow.
His pillow.
No, incredible.
Yeah.
He has some artefacts from the war, is that correct?
He got a Mosin Nagant.
Mosley gun.
Yeah,
Okay.
a rifle. From,
Yes, I
from
know
them
this.
that the Mosin Nagant he used for his fighting against Germany.
The Maquis turned the tables on collaborators. If you have anything to do with the Nazis, we know where you live and we will kill you. And they did without mercy. This is the first time I've held a resistance gun, and it's strangely moving. It's just a wonderful story, the fact that this gentleman has been through everything that he's done and still retains one of the weapons from the war that he used in the Marquis. Understandably, Henry won't sell his gun. He wants to hand it down to his family, but he can't legally because it still fires. So I'm going to get it deactivated for him. He's the first and only person I've ever met from the French resistance, and I'll remember this moment for all my life. So thank you very much. I've spoken to the local armourer in town, and he says he can deactivate Henry's rifle. The guy we're going to see, his name's Giles. Outside being a top armourer, he's a dealer in militaria. As the resistance was strong around here, I'm hoping that this bloke Giles might also have one or two things for me to buy. Now this is it, look, I mean...
Mind it don't go off.
It's a drill one, look. That'll wake him up. Giles.
Hello.
Very nice to meet you,
Nice
sir.
to meet
Thank
you,
you.
Albert.
This is
Bonjour.
Freddie.
Hi, Freddie.
As I said on the phone, we have a resistance veteran, Henry.
Ah, yeah, we've done rifle, yes.
So your name came top as the best armourer in France to deactivate it.
Yeah.
So if you could help me with that, it would
can
be
help you, of
fantastic.
course, yeah.
But also, we're here looking for items resistance.
Mm-hmm.
I will show you something very special.
Thank you.
Take a look at that.
It's a German, an SS helmet, yeah?
Yeah. But it was liberated from the Das Reich, taken by FTP, which was a communist resistance, and it was belonging to a Das Reich soldiers, this helmet.
After bloody fighting on the Russian front, SS troops were sent here to rest. But the resistance made sure they didn't get much of that. What does that say, Giles?
It's a small size helmet because there was a very young guy in the SS after the SS division lost a lot of guys in Russia. They were using 18 or 17-year-old boys.
The resistance guy that took that was taking a massive
the
risk,
war souvenir.
because if he was caught with that, it'd be linked directly to that attack. And they might not just kill him, they might kill his entire family.
Absolutely, absolutely. What would be the price of that?
8,000 euros.
8,000?
Yeah. But it's very rare, believe me.
What about 7.5?
No, impossible, sorry.
No?
I need 8,000.
Giles, thank you. Thank you. I'm very happy with that. 7,000 quid is a lot for a helmet, but this one is special. It belonged to some unfortunate teenager and has a direct link to the resistance. What are these?
Now, these are badges of supporting Marshal Pétain. And every people loving Marshal Pétain was having such a badge.
If you were caught wearing one of these by the resistance, you was for it. These badges bear the winged helmet of the French Legion of Combatants, a military veterans organisation created by the Vichy government. Giles, would they be for sale?
Yeah, why not?
What's the price of those?
I wish I had 250 euros.
Oh, right. I didn't like them that much, but 150?
Yeah.
150, yeah? OK, lovely.
Well,
These are in effect medals for collaborating. Mention of Vichy still rouses strong emotions in France, so these too have a dark historic value. Well, Giles, it's been
it was a
real honour.
Thank you.
What I'd like to do is wait to hear from you when the gun is done,
Okay, wonderful.
and then we'll come back, but thank you. While we're in this region, I want to visit a memorial to the innocent people killed by the Nazis just because there were resistance fighters in the area.
Why did the Germans massacre all these civilians then?
To put the fear of God up the resistance by the completely out-proportion reprisals the Germans were taking. At 8 a.m. on June the 10th, 1944, a Das Reich SS patrol was looking for resistance fighters. Here at Marsoulus, almost 40 miles southeast of Toulouse, they found them. These guys were on the church here. The Das Reich killed one of them, the other guy hid, but then they decided to take this village out. And if you read here, 27 innocents, 11 infants, 6 females and 10 men that were actually slaughtered here. Very, very sad. The Germans were good at making enemies. You had all sorts in the resistance. You had women, school children, lots of Jews, and even Germans. But they weren't trained killers. To help coordinate them, the British sent in the Special Operations Executive, or SOE. One of them was Tommy, later Sir Tommy McPherson. He went in wearing a kilt, which by itself was enough to worry the Germans. Beneath the kilt, Tommy had kahunas of tungsten steel. Armed with just his whip and his manskirt, he managed to capture 23,000 German troops in one go. And all by bluffing, he had half an army round the next bend. Before we head home from France, Freddie and me are meeting Giles, the armourer, as he's deactivated the rifle of Henry, my new resistance veteran friend. I've asked Giles to bring some of his resistance weapons as I'm keen to do a deal. And he says if we head down to the woods today, we're sure of a big surprise. Good morning, Giles. Is that the Mosley gun?
Henry was in the gun.
It's all deactivated now?
It's deactivated.
That's fantastic, mate. He'll be very, very happy with that. I'm well pleased to get Henry's rifle deactivated so he can pass it on to his family. And I'm also excited to see Giles's Sten guns. The twins are fixing one back home, but that's never left England. Giles tells me his can be traced all the way back to the resistance. Stens, can I have a look?
Of course.
I mean, obviously, these were part of the resistance. And
very important part.
These were dropped by their thousands down here, and this area
All
must
there?
be awash. All over here, yeah. At the start of the war, Britain was spending a whopping $200 a pop on imported American submachine guns. So it started mass-producing Stens as they were a lot cheaper.
This is a light automatic which can eventually be manufactured at a cost of under £2.
Resistance fighters liked the Sten because it was lightweight and, crucially, it could be quickly concealed. Do you know how to strip them down? I want to see if Freddie could cut the mustard as a resistance fighter.
That's the bottle. And Freddie's an expert.
He knows his guns, no question about him. Perfect. Do you have any spare for sale, possibly?
Yes, of course, yes.
What would be the price of 5?
€500 each.
500?
Yeah.
500.
Right, 400 for you.
€400 each. I'll take them. Stens are always in high demand, and buying 5 with a direct link to the resistance at trade prices means surefire profit. Giles also has the Sten's German competition. This is an MP28, the German machine pistol. Beautifully made and expensive. The SS Gestapo used these. The Sten gun was loosely based on the design of the MP28, but they were very different. If the MP28 was a car, it would be a Rolls-Royce, and the Sten would be a cheap and cheerful Model T Ford. Beautiful weapon, very deadly, but too expensive to make. So it'd be great to do a comparison if we could fire these. Compare the two.
Why not?
Let's have a go. We take them over.
Let's see.
So which gun is best? The cheap and cheerful resistance Sten or the expensive Gestapo MP28? I've always wanted to do a full mag with one of these.
It's only taken a second to fire the whole lot.
That was incredible.
I'll tell you what.
Listen, that was 25 rounds gone.
It shows you how much ammunition you'd have had to carry around with you if you were firing that.
The problem was, I ain't hit nothing. A whole row of targets, and I missed the lot.
Let's see if I have any more luck.
Go on, you have a go. Resistance fighters rated the 600 round per minute Sten lethal at a range of up to 30 metres.
Where did that go?
Gone. Incredible. Again, like me, you hit nothing. So we'd be about as much good as a chocolate teapot in the French resistance, I'm telling you. Freddie and me are both ex-soldiers, but it ain't as easy as it looks in the pictures. I don't want to shoot the French, that's red, white and blue.
Let's go for the green one then.
OK, all right, let's have a go. That's awesome. There's no kick, there's no rise up to it at all. Awesome. You don't even know you're firing it.
No.
You gonna have a go at that?
Yeah, yeah.
Freddie knows how to strip a Sten down. But can he hit the proverbial barn door second time around? That was more aggressive. It was all right little growler.
If that cost a lot more money to make than that, this is probably the better weapon overall.
That cost a fortune. That's all machined. That, 5 and 6. Hold the front page. England's only gone to beat Germany in a shootout. Oh! And like a true Frenchman, Giles has bought champagne to celebrate our new business relationship. Giles, cheers, and here's to many, many years of good business and good companionship. Cheers and thank you very
Cheers.
much.
Vive la resistance! Vive la France!
Well done.
Mate, look. What are these?
They're German field telephones.
Oh, right.
Yeah, they're nice.
There's
yeah.
another one here, look.
Yeah, two.
There it goes.
Yeah, these are always nice. They're the model that the Germans would have had at Dunkirk. They've normally got a date on. Here, look at that. 1940 and a Waffen stamp. These two field telephones don't work, but if the twins can work their magic, I've got a client that will take them in a heartbeat. They're from the exact time of Dunkirk and would have been used by blitzkrieg troops. They had special units that would be equipped with laying the telephone cable that went with these. They had very good communication systems. Blitzkrieg warfare wasn't just cutting edge in the use of troops and planes. German communications were ahead of their time. Wehrmacht commanders were free to make lightning decisions on the spot and were able to communicate those decisions at high speed. And trust me, it worked. French troops who had pompous generals sat in Paris would wait for days for dispatch riders to deliver their new orders. But by then it was too late, as the Germans had already made their move, helped by their trusty telephones. Yeah, they're nice. I mean, how much would these be?
Well, a pair of them have got to be £300, Bruce.
What about if I said 200 quid? Go have a little bit, little squeeze.
It's a bit spiteful. 250, Bruce.
200, come on, 200.
200. Yeah, we can have a deal at 200.
Cheers, mate. Lovely. Right, don't say I'll never buy you a mobile phone again. Lovely. I'll get the twins to bring these phones back to life, and these blitzkrieg blowers will double in value. The Dunkirk movie, and of course the 80th anniversary of Dunkirk, has stoked a lot of interest in Britain's narrow escape at the start of the war. So I'm on the hunt for authentic relics. And where better to start than the beach itself. This is it, the famous beach of Dunkirk. You know, there were hundreds of thousands of guys on this beach. You think how terrified it must have been for young soldiers that have fought all across Belgium, come back, got here, and they just want to get home.
The amount of people they got off this beach is almost 3 times the size of the British Army today.
Yeah.
In that one operation.
Yeah.
From giant destroyers to super-fast motor torpedo boats, 933 naval ships and civilian boats took part in the evacuation. Despite it being a success, 236 vessels never made it back.
This is the Crested Eagle. Now, she was a Thames paddle steamer that used to run between London and Ramsgate. A load of Stukas bombed it, but unfortunately up to 300 people had been killed on this. 300,000 people on this beach, seeing that happen, so you're thinking I'm going to be next, dead and dying, all falling off of here, guys running forward trying to assist them. And that's without the other guys that were like lined up into the water, waist high, waiting for the little ships. Stukas coming down, it must have been hell on earth here, mate, I'm telling you. Just spitting distance from home. What a way for your war to end. As they retreated, the British destroyed as much kit as they could. What they left was taken by the Wehrmacht, so there is actually surprisingly little to be found in Dunkirk. But I've heard one of my French contacts may have Dunkirk items that he's willing to part with. The guy's called Clement. Now, it's a museum, so normally museums ain't got that much for sale, but this guy does like to part with a bit. So hopefully we'll be able to get some bits that might relate to Dunkirk. This is one of the biggest remaining Atlantic Wall defences there is.
That is a big gun.
Huge, isn't it? After the Dunkirk retreat, Hitler didn't want the Allies setting foot on French soil again, so he ordered the construction of the Atlantic Wall. Using slave labour, the Nazis built 1,670 miles of bunkers and fortifications from Norway to Spain. And the biggest sections were here, directly opposite Blighty. The entrance is down here. It's a huge, huge artillery bunker. It's just massive. Look at all the stuff in here.
Wow.
Look, this must be where the gun actually sat.
That's massive.
Apparently, they would throw shells over to Dover from here. I mean, look at the size of the thing here.
Gives you an idea of the scale of the thing.
Yeah. Look at the size of the charges going in there.
It's as big as a person.
They've got wonderful stuff in here. Come on, up here, quick. Recce. The museum is run by Clermont's wife, who inherited it from her stepfather, Claude. He bought the rundown battery from a farmer in the 1970s, did it up and stocked it full of Dunkirk kit.
So we head off then?
Yeah, all right, in a minute. It's awesome, this, mate. There are some wonderful Dunkirk items here. But of course, the stuff on display is not for dealing. So I head off to find Clermont in the treasure-filled back room in the bowels of the bunker. Freddie! In here.
There you are.
We found the gentleman.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Big place.
All right.
We were hoping maybe you have items from Dunkirk.
Yes, yeah,
Yes?
right. Yeah.
Can we have a look?
Yes, we can look at that, yeah.
Right, after you, sir. Yeah, there's loads of little goodies in here, mate. Look, swords, look. Panzerfaust, a Klein small one as well. Oh, hang on. Here. What's this? From a German aircraft?
Yes, a part of plane, yes. Right.
From here?
Yes, Dunkirk, yes.
Nice big bit of damage on there.
Yeah, it looks like it's had a round go through it, doesn't it?
Yeah, shot, yeah.
Goring thought he could take out the British on the beaches, and I've got to stick up for the RF here. They've had a lot of stick over the years about the fact that they weren't protecting the troops on the beach. Among the troops, there was a lot of bad feeling against the RAF, that they didn't do enough to help at Dunkirk. On the beaches, soldiers didn't see many RAF planes tackling the dreaded Luftwaffe. But that wasn't fair. The RAF were trying to hit the Luftwaffe before they even reached Dunkirk. And the RAF losses were horrific, with some squadrons almost wiped out. Many young airmen lost their lives. In actual fact, logs have proved now that they were engaging the enemy further inland.
Trying to stop them actually getting to the beaches in the first place.
It might look like scrap, but there were real young men in this plane and the RAF one that shot it down. And for those that know their history, this is fascinating and moving. What would be the price of this?
It's a unique piece.
Yeah. So, if I said 200 euros?
250.
250 euros.
Yeah, right.
I can live with that. Thank you, sir. Really interesting, that. I like that. Right, we're doing well here, then. Clermont comes up trumps here. A genuine piece of shut-up Luftwaffe plane. The fact it's from Dunkirk adds enormously to the potential value. All right. Nice. He's got lovely little bits and pieces here, mate. That's American bazooka. Gators, yeah? What is that?
Says exploder on the top.
Yeah, British exploder, yeah.
Look at that. Now,
I don't use.
that's interesting, because the British, as they retreated back, they were blowing up bridges, structures, all kinds of things. If you're in the rear guard at Dunkirk, realistically, one of two things will happen to you. You'll be killed or captured. It's your job to slow down the advancing Germans using exploders like this one. You have to blow up bridges, oil refineries, roads, anything to buy time. 60,000 soldiers ended up as Nazi slave labourers. Many didn't see the end of the war, but this was not reported back home. The government, worried about morale, suppressed reports of what had happened to these forgotten heroes.
It really is a quite simple piece of equipment. Basically, when you push that down, it generates electrical charge inside and sends it down the cable to the detonator.
Look at that. Look at the pressure on that.
Can hear the dynamo.
Yeah. That still works.
Yeah.
Expensive? Price?
500.
How much?
500.
Do you have a chair? I need to sit down. 300 euros?
450. It's very rare.
It is rare. I'll tell you what I'll do. 350 euros. We're not finished yet. Lovely. There you go. Thank you. All right, that cleaned up will be nice. 300 quid might seem a lot, but done up as a memento of the brave souls in the rear guard, I think this is worth a lot more.
Yeah, look. That's not German, is it?
No, it's a British Mark I gas mask. That is synonymous with the dunes and the retreating British Army. And this is, it's a Mark I, it's the right period. Go on, give it a try. I've got to tell you, mate, that's awesome.
I need one of these after you've had a curry beef.
I'll bet you do.
Hitler's Blitzkrieg War didn't include the use of poison gas, apparently because of his own experiences on the battlefields during World War I. Still, it didn't stop him stockpiling massive amounts, just in case.
What would be the price of this?
30.
30 euros. 25 quid. I ain't even going to argue. Dunkirk, gas respirator, fantastic. Dunkirk items from Dunkirk. Our day trip has got me exactly what I wanted. But of course, some Dunkirk items made it back to Blighty, carried by the retreating troops. So we're heading home. That's the mole over there, the East Mole.
Yeah.
Now that's where the Royal Navy and all the bigger ships that came over could moor up, because this was the area that they could have deep draft ships in to pick up the people trying to get away. For 9 terrifying days, hundreds of thousands of soldiers attempted to clamber aboard ships from this mile-long pier, or mole as the French call it. Soldiers like my mate Peter Royal, the man that got me into this game in the first place.
Thing is, once you're up this end of it, you've got to get on that boat. You ain't going to be able to turn around and go back. There's tens of thousands of blokes behind.
There's some original German film taken from the Stuka, dive bombing that mole. The Luftwaffe's fearsome Stuka dive bombers were used mercilessly during the evacuation. On a dive attack, wind-powered sirens attached to the wings screamed the Stuka's approach, giving the feeling the plane and its bombs were heading straight for you. As a psychological weapon, they terrorised troops stuck queuing on the mole. For some, the waiting proved too much. Some men took to the water to try to swim home, and there are accounts of queue jumpers being shot dead on the spot by their own officers. And if it hadn't been for that mole and the bravery of the guys and the Navy and the Air Force, we'd be talking German now. It's a bit of British history, mate. And with that, I think we should go and have a drink to the memory of them guys that never got off that mole. Yeah? When it comes to fine wine, a connoisseur has an expert nose. Well, I'm very much like that with tank parts. Which is why I've been invited down to Saumur in western France for what I suspect will be another Mission Impossible.
I have to say, this has got to be a big moment for you, hasn't it?
Mate, I've got to be honest here, I've been trying to come here for years and get in with these people. The legendary Musée de Blonde is run by the French Ministry of Defence and has the world's largest collection of armoured fighting vehicles. I can't wait to see what they've got here and what they want us to help them with.
Better get in there then.
Come on in. The museum is run by Lieutenant Colonel Pierre Garnier de la Barrière.
Bonjour.
Bonjour, Freddy. First of all, thank you very much for seeing us. He spends millions on exhibits, so meeting him is a fantastic business opportunity. For many years, I've dreamed of this museum. So, could we look round? Yes?
Of course.
The museum has over 800 armoured vehicles.
Look at the round stuck in there.
Dating back to the very first tank. Oh, look at this thing.
This is over 100 years old.
Yeah, yeah. One of the museum's star attractions is its King Tiger tank. 70 tonne of precision Nazi engineering. German factories built almost 500 of these beasts, but this is the only working one in the world. and it's worth a cool £15 million. This thing runs, it drives. That is the real ultimate toy to have. As well as their valuable King Tiger, the museum also has a world-famous collection of German Panzer tanks. You have all the Panzers?
No, we're looking for Panzer I. This is the place
For the
for
Panzer
it.
one. Ah, OK, so this is what you would like me to help you with, yes? He's got to be kidding. The Panzer I, the original Panzer. Only 13 survive, all in museums. It's so rare. I can't rustle up a whole tank, but at least I can begin gathering up authentic Panzer I parts. Panzer I items can be very hard to find, but I can start to locate things for you. That could be possible if that's of interest, yeah?
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, lovely. Okay. I can't promise, but now I have a mission. German factories took just days to build a Panzer I, but it's going to take me several years of painstaking picking. And as a down payment, the Lieutenant Colonel has a treat for me. Firing up the world's only running King Tiger. Oh, listen to that thing. What a driver. That's incredible. Listen to the fearsome roar of the 23-litre engine. Thank you for letting us see this fantastic museum.
You're welcome.
Lovely.
All the time.
We'll be in touch. Au revoir.
Au revoir. Merci.
In anticipation of the Texans' visit, Freddie and me have hot-footed it over to France. This could be the start of a profitable relationship, so hopefully I'll find Battle of Normandy bits that will blow Davies's mind. I just love being over here. I mean, it's just really interesting to go to the different areas where the battle took place. I've had a tip-off there's a hotel in the St. Lo area that saw plenty of action during the war. Rumour has it that there's some top-drawer memorabilia gathering dust in the loft. Only problem, I'm not sure where the hotel is. Pull up here, right, I'll go in this bar. Simple solution, I'll dust off my French and ask for directions.
Get us a bottle of water, please, Bruce.
Yeah. Bonjour, mademoiselle. My white bureau? Yeah, lovely.
Bruce's franglais is so bad it could start a diplomatic incident. He's more likely to come back with directions to the bottom of the English Channel than to our hotel.
See, Freddie, get me out of here. I asked for a glass of beer. I've ended up paying a load of wine. But I've got the dress. Grab that. I don't know. Don't ask me. I've got the dress. That's the important thing. Yeah, all I wanted was a glass of beer and an address. And I've got a crate of wine. It's just out of here. Despite the bar owner's poor grasp of my fluent French, I've gleaned that our hotel is a historic local building with a British proprietor. Oh, hang on, look. That's got to be it. She said it was a bit of a chateau-y thing. Look, here, try this. Look, that's a bit posh, isn't it? Looks all right. You're in the outhouse. Good morning, sir.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
My name's Bruce.
Bruce, pleased to meet you. I'm Joe.
Hi, Joe. Nice
What do you want? 2 rooms?
2 rooms, a couple of nights would be great.
Gentlemen, come in.
Thank you very much indeed. This is like an old chateau, isn't it?
Yeah, it's almost 600 years old.
There was a lot of fighting round here as well in the war. That's why we're here collecting up bits and pieces.
Yeah.
But you have some military, is that right?
We do have some military. It was here when we came here.
Right. Is there anything might possibly be for sale we could have a look at?
If the price is right, yeah.
That
you
suits
might be
me
able
down
to...
to the ground. I'm very good at the price is right.
Good.
Trust me. Bags dropped off, a quick change, and we're ready to rummage. Joe, you all right? It's where you keep all your goodies, yeah?
Yeah, all the bits and pieces.
Oh, you got some stuff here. What are these? Exploded ordnance?
Yes, they are.
They're American, aren't they?
They are, yeah.
Blimmin' hell. These are nice. They're German barrack or bunker cupboards. Where'd you find these then, Joe?
Well, they were here when I bought the house.
I mean, they're nice. We've got loads of these.
Yeah, what about this?
I know what that is. It's a German 42 Flammenwerfer. It's a flamethrower.
All right.
Now, this was dug into the beaches all along the coast. If one of these went off near you, it comes out with a lot of force. Activated by a tripwire, these flamethrowers blasted out a jet of burning oil nearly 90 feet long. The injuries were so horrific they were considered to be an inhumane weapon of war. But that didn't stop Hitler using them during the Allied attack on the Normandy beaches. No, I'd be interested in that. Would this be for sale?
Yeah, you can make me an offer for it.
€100?
Go on, then.
€100, lovely, thank you. That's nice, really nice. This is a real rarity in America, a unique artefact from the beaches of Normandy. It's perfect for my Texans' new collection.
There's something you might be interested in.
What is it?
Anyone recognise that, can't they?
Let's have a look at that. SS number plate. That's really, really nice. This area had 17 SS division here. Now, I ain't saying this is from one of their vehicles, but it would make sense, wouldn't it? Now,
Well, we had German officers billeted in this house for some years.
Well, that's just incredible. This is 100% original. You can tell by the way the rust comes through the original paint, and this stamp is very important. That is typical of a wartime one. You know, when the fakers do it, they do it perfectly. This is smudged, done in a hurry. Would that be for sale?
Yes, it would.
Any idea how much you want for that?
I don't know.
I can tell Joe hasn't got a clue about this stuff's value, so it's up to me to be fair with him. I mean, I'll give you €1,000 for that. That's rung your bell, hasn't it?
It has.
€1,000.
It has.
How's that?
Go on, then.
Thank you. Lovely. What a result. Joe's happy as this number plate's just been sitting around. I'm happy because I've paid him a fair price, but one that allows me a little profit. You ain't got anything else like this, have you?
I've got a load of stuff upstairs.
Oh, please, leave on. I'm not letting go of this. Oh, this is where you keep other stuff up here?
Yeah, we've got quite a lot of stuff over here.
Bunk beds.
Well, if the Germans are billeted here, that's the sort of thing that would have been in it.
What else you got here as well?
Some dug-up helmets, a British helmet.
Oh, hold it, hold on, whoa, give me that, give me that.
10 a penny, them.
No, they ain't. See that? That's the Polish crest. The Poles played a massive part in Normandy. I mean, a massive part. It's often overlooked that another 10 national armies joined forces with the US and British troops in Normandy in the fight to free Western Europe. The first Polish troops landed in France just after D-Day, and the 15,000 men were renowned for their hunger to exact revenge on the Nazis. Their courage helped end German resistance in Normandy. I've only ever seen faked one of these, and I've seen one original paratroop helmet with that on.
I've heard that these things can be worth thousands and thousands of pounds.
This is nice, but it ain't mega money. And a fair and honest price for this is €800.
What about 850?
850. I can live with that. You've been
Go on,
really
then.
fair. Thank you.
Okay.
850. Kit from smaller Allied armies is super rare. That's why people fake them. Davies is going to love having this original one in his collection. What a talking point.
I've got one other thing you might be interested in.
Yep, I'm interested in it.
Just hold on a second.
I can't believe how much stuff there's been.
I know, mate.
I think this may be of interest.
Where'd you find that?
That was here in the house.
Blooming hell. I mean, not only is this a Luger, it's a 42 Luger.
I had it deactivated because I was worried about it.
Yeah, okay.
So it's now quite safe.
Now, Lugers with the holster, yeah, you're fine. But from Normandy, he's going to love that. Would you sell this to me?
At the right price, yeah.
I mean, if I said to you, I'd give you €1,500.
1,600, we can strike a deal.
I can have that. Lovely.
Go on then.
Lovely. Thank you. That's great. That is good. No military collection is complete without a Luger, and now Davies has one. And to top it off, it's from the Battle of Normandy. Well, that was great. I see you've got a big old pond there, yeah?
Yeah.
Do you ever fish it at all?
Never.
Have you ever magnet fished it?
No, absolutely not. Don't even know what that is.
Well, any chance we can have a little fish around?
We'll do that.
That'd
Come on
do,
then.
mate. That'd do.
Magnet fishing. You really have lost the plot.
Maybe, Freddie, but I'm not the one doing it.
You sure about this, Bruce?
Ship ahoy, shipmate. Come over this way and I'll chuck this thing over to you. Judging by the calibre of the German goodies in the house, Lord only knows what could be sitting at the bottom of this pond. Ready? Stay there.
What's it?
I've heard of collectors pulling up knives, bayonets and even Lugers. All you need is a strong magnet and a length of sturdy string. Now just sit there and pull it up and down. Is it going in the silt?
I'm going in the silt in a minute.
You got something, haven't you? No, go on, keep going. Maybe it's for the best that Freddie's having no luck. There are reports of people pulling up live grenades and unexploded World War II shells. Well, with that in mind... Actually, you just have a go. I'll just go into a quick jimmy.
Hang on, you got to help me get out.
I'll be back in a minute.
Bruce. Anybody? Oh, mega.
The next stop in northern France is to meet Manu, a world-famous collector who's so clued up on the Battle of Normandy, he runs a museum about it. It's based just outside Carenton, near where the Allied advance began. Now, we're going to a museum here called Dead Man's Corner, and it's at a critical crossroads that the Americans had to take. So the whole museum is built around this crossroads where he's got all kinds of stuff. They just haven't got room to display, so there'll be some really good pickings here.
Hi, Bruce.
Morning. Yeah, this is Freddie. Keep your
Hi,
word.
Bruce.
Good,
How are you doing?
Hi, mate.
Nice, Freddie.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Why is it called Dead Man's Corner exactly?
The first paratrooper of the 101 came from here, from Utah Beach, and the first tank which came from here was shot, and the crew was killed, and the tank commander was hanging on the turret for a few days. We don't know exactly.
With the battle still raging, there was no way the unfortunate American soldier could be removed. And it was such a gruesome sight for the other GIs, they named the place after it. It's incredible. Can we have a look at this stuff?
Yeah, sure.
My American buyer, Davis, is so keen on the Battle of Normandy because the Americans played such a large part in it. So this is the secret store, yeah?
Yes.
It's looking promising in there.
Oh, lovely lot. Inventory trailer, yeah, nice. Nice bits and pieces in there.
Parachute up there.
Yeah. One of those things for towing.
Oh, for a cable layer?
Yeah.
For communications, for radios?
Yeah, we've got one of those.
Oh, this might be more up your street. Hey, Bruce? Bonnet off of a Jeep, isn't it?
Well, it's cheap. I'll put it out.
It's still got the markings on it.
That's nice. Where did that come from?
This comes from Carenton, from the area.
There was lots of fighting in Carenton, wasn't there?
Yeah.
And famously, an American officer won the Congressional Medal of Honor. I can't remember his name.
Colonel Cole.
Colonel Cole.
Yeah.
Lieutenant Colonel Cole's mission was to capture Carentan, a town crucial to the Allies' invasion plans. But on approaching the town, Cole and 400 of his men were met by a hailstorm of German mortar fire. After 2 days of heavy losses and Carentan still in German hands, Cole launched an audacious counterattack. Charging on foot, armed only with rifles and bayonets, they heroically seized the town. This is a nice artefact for somebody to put on the wall who's starting up. Is this for sale?
Not especially, but make me an offer.
Have you got €5 on you? No. What about if I said, fair offer, €700? How's that?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, thank you. Lovely. Right, we're doing well. I like things like that. Americans love a good gung-ho comeback story, and this bonnet does just the job.
Well, this is an interesting looking thing. Look. The Heart Shield Bible.
Yeah.
Fits snugly in the uniform pocket.
The engraved gold-plated steel front cover will protect his heart.
That's right. I mean, that ain't going to stop the bullet, is it? But it would stop a bit of shrapnel. And there are a few occasions where it's recorded people's lives were saved by these.
That's distinctly targeting wives and girlfriends and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Encouraging them to buy it so they can feel like they're doing their bit to protect them on the front line.
As nice as these are, they're 10 a penny, and not rare enough to catch Davis's discerning eye. Nice, but stick that back. See what else we've got. The German Pumpkin. The 88 rocket-propelled small piece of anti-tank equipment. This is awesome. It was actually a good little bit of kit because these rounds would take out a tank, no question about it.
I mean, you have to imagine one of these hidden in a hedgerow is going to be devastating towards armour.
Cracking little thing. Where did this one come from?
The Falaise pocket.
Oh, it did it?
Yeah, it was found many, many years ago on the battlefield.
I mean, the Falaise pocket, corridor of death. 6 weeks after D-Day, the net was closing in on the German army, but Hitler refused to allow his troops to retreat. The Allied forces began to surround the last major pocket of resistance in the town of Falaise. The German troops were pounded from all sides and, ignoring Hitler's orders, fled for their lives through an escape route that was closing by the hour. As many as 40,000 got away, but inside the pocket, it was a killing field as 10,000 German soldiers lost their lives. So this has come from that area. For the guy I'm trying to help with his collection, this would be perfect. But it's all about how much it is. What's going to be the price for this?
Between 10 and 12,000 euros. Pretty rare.
Yeah, it is, but that's a lot of euros. I think a fair price for this would be 7,000. 7,000. That's a blinding price, you know?
But the best price I can do, it's 9,000.
9,000 euros.
9,000 euros. That's the best price.
Thank you, sir. I'll have that. Not only is the Pumpkin a perfect example of what the Americans were up against in Normandy, it comes straight from one of its most notorious battlefields. All right, it's a bit of history, nice bit of provenance from Falaise. It's worth coming all the way out here. Given how quickly I need this back in the UK, Manu's kindly arranging a van to ship it back home for me. Right, well, we'll get out your hair. Au revoir. It's been an absolute pleasure. Cheerio. See you later.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
You going to hit it? Could be all right.
This old World War II Sherman tank has been gathering dust in the back of our shed for 4 years, and now Bruce suddenly wants it out within an hour. Fat chance.
Maybe just roll it out on the grass.
Oi, thought you'd have the Sherman out by now.
Well, we've got to get all this stuff you bought out of the way so we can get to it.
Listen, I've had an offer to sell it to the museum at Biggin Hill. So I've invited Peter Monk down next week to come and hopefully do the deal on this. So we've got to get it out, get it spruced up and running properly. Peter Monk runs the Heritage Hangar Museum at Biggin Hill Airport. He's planning a special exhibition dedicated to old Blood and Guts himself. The great American general, George S. Patton. As a centrepiece, he wants Patton's favourite war machine, a Sherman Tank. And as it happens, I've got one in mint condition. Or I thought I did. Peter Monk's going to fly up here to see it. That's why there's a sense of urgency about it. It's got to wind you up a bit, mate, all right? Patton first made his name in World War I when he became a US tank commander at the age of just 32. As a general in the Second World War, his Third Army Sherman tanks ran the Nazis out of France. He's regarded as one of America's greatest generals, a master tactician who was loved by his troops and feared by his enemies. Listen, Patton's a big hero of mine, I've got to be honest with you, and you can't get more Patton than the Sherman. But my client doesn't want a tank that looks like it's been in a tear-up with the Tiger. He wants a Sherman that's ship-shape. Right, is there anything the matter with this?
The tyres are starting to come off.
Right.
There's an issue with the engine, and I think the mount for the machine gun on the top needs sorting out.
Listen, that's enough. I'm sure you can make it right. Freddie, you come with me, because we got to dive off and get some bits from France.
Right.
Ruby, come with me.
He means now, doesn't he?
Yeah, now.
To seal the deal with Biggin Hill, I need to find items that help tell Patton's story. 12 Sherman tank tyres and a Sherman gun mount. And luckily for me, I know just the place. North-east France, where Patton cemented his reputation as a no-nonsense, tough-talking leader.
So was there a lot of fighting around this area?
Mate, this whole area of Alsace and Lorraine, right, was a massive battlefield.
There's a bit of forgotten history down here because you don't really hear much about it.
They knew Patton was one of the best generals they were going to be up against, and they didn't skimp on equipment being sent down here to try and head off Patton. By the end of August 1944, 12 weeks after D-Day, Patton had driven his Third Army 400 miles across France to where we are now, Alsace-Lorraine, led all the way by Patton's trusty Shermans. Freddie, just pull over here. Just pull up here by this memorial. I'm going to show you something here, look.
Just
jump
here?
out. Yeah, jump out. Come and have a look here, look.
Wow, some view.
Stunning, isn't it?
Wow.
Now,
Well, look, you see the river down there?
Yep.
Beautiful there.
now, it is today as we're standing here, but in 1944 it were, mate. You've got to imagine Patton's come hurtling all the way through the Alsace. But this is where, bang, they come to a stop. And actually came up against some top German units here. And it became a war of attrition here, a real bloodbath. Patton reached the occupied, fortified city of Metz and hit bad weather and stubborn resistance from the Wehrmacht. It took him almost 3 months of brutal fighting to kick out the Germans from this region at a cost of 50,000 of his men. This they really did take through blood, sweat and tears, no question about it. Listen, the capture of the Outhouse laid the way for the Allies to bounce into Germany. It's just over there now. Right, let's go and have a look at some bits and pieces. A lot of shot-up Shermans sank into the mud here, so rich pickings. To help me, I've pulled in my great friend and go-to dealer, Michel Lorraine. When it comes to tank parts in the Alsace, he's like a pig sniffing out truffles.
Do you reckon he's going to have any sort of bits we're after, Sherman stuff?
100%. In the 20 years I've known him, I've never come away from here without something either I wanted or I'd specifically come down here to get. He likes a drop of vino, though, I've got to tell you. Stand by your bed for that. Here he is, there's me man. There you go. Oh. Michel. New project. Yeah.
Yes. Every time new project.
Oh, Michel.
Freddy,
Yeah,
how
Michel.
are you, my friend?
I think we're going to move here.
Yeah.
So what we got here, Michel? What you got to show me?
Yeah, go on. We take a look. Yeah, I have a lot to be seen.
Michel, you've got more stuff in here. It's incredible. I've told Michel I'm on the hunt not just for Sherman parts, but also any other Patton-related pieces. And the first thing he shows me dates back to the First World War, where Patton made a name for himself. What is that?
This is American truck 1917. Still with the White Star.
Totally denotes it being an American vehicle.
This was the most used American trucks in the American Army.
The radiator is all that's left of a Liberty truck. The Americans built over 9,000 of these. They ferried fuel and food along a 440-mile western front. So this is from the area that he was in command of?
Exact, from this base.
I mean, he might have been most famous for World War II, but it teaches people a bit about his World War I career as well.
In 1917, 32-year-old Patton was an officer in the newly formed US Tank Corps. He organised and trained troops and even designed their uniforms. A year later, he personally led the first successful American tank engagement of the war and established himself as a leading expert on the battlefield's newest weapon. Listen, one of his favourite quotes was, "A pint of sweat will save a gallon of blood." He was a real hard taskmaster and he drove his men really hard, but they loved him for it. I know it's First World War, but it'd be a really nice momentum for somebody like Peter, right, that wants anything to do with pattern. So, what would be the price of that, Michel?
Must be €1,000.
€1,000.
Yeah.
Best price?
This is best price. This is piece of history, you know.
I know it's a piece of history,
Something-
but Freddie's a bit of history, but I can only just afford him. But, you know, €1,000, done. I'd have that. Paying top dollar now means Michel might give me a break further down the line. And it's a great piece of pattern history.
Come on, Bruce, I have something of interest for you. I just discovered. This is Tiger.
Tiger track.
Yeah.
It's had a round go right the way through the track. You think by a Sherman?
Yeah.
German Tigers seemed invincible. Their 100mm thick armour could withstand a Sherman's fire, but they did have one weak spot. The Sherman Tank gunners were trained to go for the Tigers' tracks. Once that track had come off, it was useless. That proves to me how to knock a Tiger out.
Do you have any interest to buy it?
I have big interest, but today I'm not buying Tiger parts, so can we carry on looking, see what else you've got, yeah?
Carry on, my friend.
Nice cylinders you've got here.
There you go, Bruce, look. It's a gun mount.
Yeah, 50 cal mount.
It's even got a couple of ammo boxes with it.
Oh, I'll bring them out. Is it heavy?
No, not really. For a change.
Nice, yeah.
Well, it's all good, look.
Yeah. 50 calibre round box, the full mount, spare ammo box, yeah. That's exactly what we want for the Sherman.
Patton was one general who knew how to use his tank guns to the best advantage.
A lot of people think tank's got one big gun on it, but when you've got troops up close to you, you need a bit of personal protection. You might be getting harassing fire, so 50 cal on the top, that's going to get people's heads down for sure.
In 1942 and 43, Patton's army successfully invaded North Africa and Sicily. He viewed his Shermans as a modern-day cavalry, best used to attack the enemy hard and fast. Always take the offensive, never dig in, was his motto. In doing so, he hoped to avoid the repetition of trench warfare that caused so many deaths in World War I. His tactical prowess made him a formidable opponent. Even the German High Command respected him. These for sale, yes?
Oh, altogether, I would say €300.
€300? Can I have a little discount? Come on. $250.
You every time bargaining.
Oh, you got a bargain. Have a little
You
deal
make
in
me
life, yeah.
poor. You make me poor.
Listen.
Okay.
250. 250.
Okay.
250. There you go. The twins will love this. They dream about ammo boxes and gun mounts, and a nice treat for Peter Monk. Better still, Michel has put us onto a dealer who may have the rubber tyres we need to get the Sherman going.
Is it up here?
No, I think it was left.
Was that left coming down here or left going up here?
Freddie and I are in northern France, trying to make sense of the road signs.
Nice village, though.
Yeah, it is a nice village, but this is definitely not it. I'm looking for items that tell the story of General Patton and a new set of rubber tyres for my Sherman. So we're off to see Michel Lorraine's friend and fellow dealer, Patrick Jean-Roy.
That don't look right, it's just somebody's field. You end up getting chased off by a farmer in a minute. Oh, hang on, there's a shed here.
That's it, through.
Well, that was easy to find.
That's it. And there he is, right?
Finally.
Bonjour, my friend.
How are you, Bruce? Nice to meet you again. I introduce you my best friend, Patrick Jean-Roy.
Bonjour. This is his things, yeah?
Yeah, we will take a look around.
Okay, right, let's have a look. Michel has come along to make sure we don't get lost again. This time in translation.
Stuff everywhere, isn't it?
Yeah, this is what we want. It's all just all cluttered up. What is this then?
This is officer's field room.
It's a boudoir.
Yeah.
It's a mobile boudoir.
This is officer's field room.
So is he trying to tell me this is Patton's command room? We're back to Patton's time as a captain during World War One.
It's an early camper van, isn't it? I mean, if you'd have had this during the war, you'd have been more than happy about it.
Old vintage phone, look.
Call the headquarters.
Room service, please.
In the boudoir, there's also what worryingly looks like a whip hanging on a peg. So I suspect some other kind of service might be offered here.
What are these for? Look. Hey, handcuffs?
It looks more like a mobile knocking shop.
Freddie might be right. In World War One, to relieve their randy officers, the French ferried ladies of the night out to the front line.
French?
Definitely French.
The bed good?
Yeah, try it, test it.
You've got to try the bed, haven't you?
This isn't for me, but I've spotted a few bits inside that might be.
What's that, a prayer? Yeah. It's a Merry Christmas thing from Patton. Headquarters of the 3rd United States Army. Look at this. Almighty, most merciful Father, we humbly beseech thee, our true God, good... This, they got sent out to the troops.
In 1944, Patton had a Christmas card sent to every one of his 250,000 soldiers to boost morale. His brazen language and outspoken honesty endeared him to his troops. But rumour had it that his forthright manner was a result of a head injury in his youth.
I mean, it's a nice gesture, but, I mean, look, it's a bit small, isn't it?
It's designed to keep in your wallet, look. Yeah, but it's nice. He was the man of the moment at a time where he really contributed a lot to the defeat of the Germans. How much is that, Michel? Is that for sale?
Combien tu veux pour ça? €1. €1.
€1 sold. No messing about, all right?
That card's nice and all, but I haven't come all this way just to make €9.
Wow, look at that. Diamond T.
Yes.
This got my diesel engine in, yeah?
Yes.
Got an open cab.
Torpedo open cabin.
And it doesn't look in bad nick. Tyres are good.
I've got to be honest, Bruce, I mean, these are sort of things that supplied Patton's army, you know? Perfect with a Sherman. I mean, you think how many trucks they must have needed. I mean, Patton's front was, what, 450 odd miles?
Yeah, just ridiculous, mate.
I think the Americans would have had absolutely hundreds of these, bringing up all their food, water, ammunition, medical supplies.
By September 1944, 3 months after D-Day, American supplies were running low, so Allied chiefs had to choose. Did they support Patton in the Alsace or Montgomery in the Netherlands at Operation Market Garden? They went with Monty.
Patton wasn't receiving the supplies of the gasoline he needed to carry on pushing in and battling down in the Alsace down here. Peter Monk, with all the Allied vehicles he's buying now, the Sherman we're selling him, he'd be in something like this. Is this for sale, Michel?
C'est à vendre, ça, comme camion? Oui. Ouais. Can be.
How much? Small price?
Petit prix, hein?
Sellers never start with a small price.
Petit prix, c'est 15 000.
15,000.
I'm interested, but not at 15,000. I'll give you 7,000 for it.
Il veut donner 7 000.
Yeah.
Too low offer.
Come on, what's his best price?
Ton meilleur prix, ce serait quoi?
Moi?
Ouais.
Je m'arrache les tripes. 10 000.
Guts out. 10,000.
Penny, a pound, sir. Thank you. There you go. 10,000.
Okay, ça marche.
Sounds a lot, but for half the price of a bog-standard hatchback, I've got a truck that once supplied General Patton. Now for those tank tyres.
Ah, Michel. Perfect. This is exactly what we need. Tank tyres. They're the right size, Freddie, look.
Yeah.
OK? They're new, ex-stock, they've not been used. This is what we're looking for.
They're solid rubber over a metal rim and the right size for the Sherman. Only trouble is, there's only 2 of them.
We need 12. Does he have 12 of these?
Est-ce que tu en as 12 de cette sorte?
They look straight out of the box. There must be more where they came from.
We need 12 to get our tank perfect.
Est-ce que tu en as 12? Oui. He has 12.
Bingo! Now, Patrick's got me over a barrel. He knows I need them.
What is the price of them?
Combien il dit?
Make an offer.
I think a fair price is 100 euros each.
Dans cet
1200.
état, il pense à 100 € pièce.
Yeah?
Oui.
1200.
Okay,
Thank
we
you,
have
sir.
a deal.
Yep.
He's a good man and a wise man. Dealers who play fair do best.
We can get 12 of these in the vehicle, can't we?
It probably will, but somebody's baggage is going to have to get left behind.
We're going to have to ship all the bits overnight to the twins.
Allez, tu nous
The
montres.
clock is ticking and they need to lick the Sherman into shape before Peter Monk turns up.